friends, welcome to my channel. If you are returning, a very hello and warm welcome to you. If you're new, I would love to have you join, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It's just kind of a little chit chat about just a couple of things that I've been doing and what I'm up to, and what I have on my face, and going along with the theme of trying to stay light and just go along with more of a natural look. Let's get started. First of all, I just thought I'd share with you what I have on my face. Now, I today have on, because I'm going to be doing a little bit of errands later on, but I have on my Clinique BB cream for acne. I use this a lot. I use it all the time as a main foundation. I think it gives me the kind of coverage that I'm looking for. And let me just say this, when my skin is really behaving, acting right, except one little zit over here that I've been dealing with, I like to just keep the foundation light for every day. Now, if I'm going someplace special or out, or like, you know, more formal, then I tend to wear a different type of foundation because I'm trying to just go with more of a flawless look. And I like this BB cream because I do believe that sorry, I was getting a message, that this cream actually, or this product actually allows your skin to breathe. I get no breakouts from it, and for me, it just lasts such a long time, so I really like it. I'll show you the bottle. I've shown it many times before. Kind of dirty, but this is it, and it's called Clinique Acne Solution BB Cream. It's kind of hard to find in the department stores with Clinique stuff. These interruptions, man, some days. But I usually order it, and then that way I know I have it, and I have it in the light. So I have that on. My brows are just my normal Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I do have also the Charlotte Tilbury pencil. And I'm just hoping that there's going to be more colors coming out, because I really do like that pencil. It's really nice. And I also have on, and I'm not sure I ever talked about this, but I've used this for quite a while. It is a Charlotte Tilbury, and it's a brow gel. Now, I'm big on brow gels, but gosh, get a load of that little brush. It is teeny tiny. And this is called Legendary Brows. I'm not sure that I like it better than the Anastasia Brow Gel, but what I do know is that I am big on a brow gel. I think it keeps your brows in shape, and also there's less smudging or slight running as the day goes on, or maybe the humidity's up, and I always have to deal with the humidity where I live. So these products are like without fail, have to have them. So I like it, but I just think the Anastasia, I've used that for so long that it just does what it needs to do. And so when this is out, I'll probably go back and order, or, you know, pick up the Anastasia. But along the lines of the Charlotte Tilbury, I am really loving their products. Now, I started picking up a product here and a product there, you know, I don't know, a year ago, and I just thought, you know, I like what I'm using. It just, her makeup in general goes on very subtly, but you can build it up. But the colors are just, they're gorgeous. They're so beautiful. Oops, I'm going to run out of battery here. So let me plug in. Okay, I'm back. So anyway, I have been picking up some samples along the way of her product for different things, and that's kind of where I'm utilizing these samples, trying it out, seeing if I like it, seeing if, you know, do I want to make a purchase. But one of the things that I've been using for quite a while is, I gotta put that up because it's running, Pillow Talk. This is what's called Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat, and it's in the liner Pillow Talk. I think this is a perfect liner for most lips. It goes with a whole combination of different lip colors, and sometimes I just line my lips with this, smudge it around, and then put a gloss over it. It's a really nice, pretty color. I've shown it before. It on your lips, it's just really very natural looking, and so I like that. So I do have this on today, but I also have on, I'm gonna butcher this. I think it, well, this is by MAC. It's called, this isn't what I have on. Is it? No, that is not what I have on. I have on what's called Pretty Please right here, just over that lip liner, and then a gloss. It's really just so complimentary and just keeps it in that natural, neutral kind of look. And of course, I've been using the the AIRBRUSH Flawless Finish Skin Protecting Micro Powder. I've talked about this like a lot. It's so nice. I've already hit pan, but I do carry one in my purse. It's very, it just puts a really pretty sheen on your skin, and it feels good. It's very light, and it's just, to me, it's like, it just doesn't feel like it's a powder compress. It's really, really nice. And then I've been using for quite a while, this is the I think Dolce Vita. I'm holding this because it will pop out. Very beautiful. Have it on today. It's just really, it's just so pretty. And you know, like I said, you could really build these up, especially with these two colors, and that color right there is really pretty. And when I really want something that's a little heavier, you know, a little more outline for night, this color right here just is, it's just gorgeous. So this is a really nice eyeshadow palette, and I've been using that. I think next to my Tom Ford Cocoa Mirage, this one is definitely my second palette that I just use all the time. And for Christmas I had a gift card from Nordstrom, so I just went ahead and ordered this. Let me see, I don't want to blind you here. This is called Film Star Bronze and Glow, and this is, I have this on today, and it really is, again, a really beautiful color combination. This bronzer is very light, and I'm rubbing it pretty hard, but you can see it just leaves like just almost that bronzy, peachy, just gorgeous color on your skin, and just natural. It just is, it's so beautiful. So that I have been using, and then the it's called Cheek to Chic, CHIC, and it's her Pillow Talk blush. And this, well, I'm doing a real good job on it already, but I purchased this after Christmas. I was looking on for this in combination with lipstick as a gift for my daughter-in-law, and it was a limited edition, and couldn't get my hands on it, and then those came back on the site, and these are individually, you can purchase these individually, and I think, again, I have that on with the bronzer, and so it's just it's just a pretty color combination, and
Oops, I think I forgot to blend.
think it's very complimentary to your skin, and it doesn't have that, you know, big wow bam, like in your face kind of look. It's just soft. And the thing that I'm impressed about the most is it lasts. Now, I'm pretty particular about my blushes, and I like MAC blushes, but I do think they tend to just kind of um, wear off. I don't think they have that lasting part. Tarte blushes are beautiful blushes, and you put Tarte blushes on, it pretty much stays in place the way you know put it on early in the day. So I love those blushes, and I like this new Pillow Talk blush. It's really it's just really, it's pretty, and then it has this little center here that's kind of has a little, I'm going to see if I can get you to see it, has just a little bit of sheen to it. It's right there. Can you see it? Oh, come on, Marianne, get with it. Let me see if I can put it on the top of my hand. It just has that little bit of sheen. There we go. And it's pretty. And sometimes I just put it here and here. And, you know, I usually just go ahead and take my brush more towards the outside if I want it more in the center, the apple of my cheeks, and then just run it, you know, up and down over the whole thing. So that's kind of just what I'm using with Charlotte Tilbury. And this a flawless filter, I have several samples of it. This stuff is great stuff. And as you can see, I've clipped the packaging, and make sure you do that, because I have already used this probably 6-7 times, and that was just by snipping the corner. But as you just cut it down, you can squeeze more out, and you know, you get a lot of use out of it. And that way it's a good way for you to decide, you know, is it something that you would want to purchase. So today is kind of a Charlotte Tilbury day, and I think that her makeup is really geared towards all age groups, you know, because it's very pretty, it's very light, and I think it looks good on, beautiful on, you know, young skin, and I think it's just as beautiful on older skin, or skin that's aging gracefully, or, you know, as I was referred to not too long ago as an older person. So yeah, it is what it is. And so anyways, that's what I'm wearing today. And then I thought I would talk to you about, you know, in January and February, I usually like to, well, in the past where I've lived, in the Midwest, it's just like those months are just clean through the house months. There's not a whole lot you can be doing outside, and there's a lot of times on the weekends, you know, you just might not be able to get out because of the weather. So I've always had that, oh, it's time to clean, it's time to purge, it's time to straighten up. And then when the warmer weather comes around and you can get out more, then you just tend to do other things. But so I'm all into the finding my joy, Marie Kondo, reorganizing, regrouping, and that's what I've been spending a lot of my time on. And so I not doing a whole lot of DIYs right now. I just took down my little Christmas tree. I had it in my last video, that I had snowflakes and little ice skates on and a light, and I kept that up after Christmas, because then it's just like not so drastic to take everything down and just go, oh, poo, because, you know, you still got some time before spring. So I just took that down and just kind of cleaned through some of my cabinets, and I did post a video on that. But what I've been working on, and I really wanted to do it, you know, last fall and start the project, but I didn't because I was just doing so many other things that, so I started getting interested in these chunky blankets. Now, if you've seen these out or if you've looked them up online, they're expensive. And it's not because of man labor. For sure, that's not it. They're just expensive because the yarn is costly. And it is chunky, but it takes quite a bit. Now, I have this on a great big huge crochet hook, but I'm doing this by hand. And there's all kinds of tutorials on making these hand blankets. You do not know how to crochet, you do not know how to knit, you don't have to know how to do any of it. It's pretty simple. If you do know how to crochet and knit, it just allows you to understand the technique a little better, like especially when you're finished casting off or when you're doing your sides, you know what you do. But there are so many great tutorials on YouTube that you can watch and just pick it up, get the hang of it. So this is one done by I think it's Bernay Yarn. Sorry, well, but I should turn that off. It's by Bernay Yarn, and this is called I think light gray, and it's a very soft. This is the width of it. This is what I have left, and this took 2 of their skeins or balls that they have, and they were, I want to say, $10 a piece. And I just, you know, I threw out the, no, I think I kept one, but I don't have it right here as to how many ounces each one of their balls are. But you know, if you went to Michael's and you just looked for the Bernay, you would see it because they have all these yarns grouped together. And this was 2 complete, and this is the bottom and here's the top. And I'm probably going to make it, oh, I would say I might do 2 more for this one because it's going to be long. Now I just hooked it on here so that I wouldn't lose my stitching, but it's such an easy technique. Let's see if I can get this, where you basically, I just made a little knot here so I can just kind of show you, and you are basically placing your hand through it, and you're making your first row, your first chains, and then however long you want it, you know, and all the tutorials explain this, then you're just literally going back over it, and you're picking up your working yarn, you're going through a hoop, a loop, and then you're making a new loop. And what you try to do is get your loops all the same size. Now, I'm just showing you with the little bit of yarn I have left. So here you go. You've already started your first row, and that's, I'm telling you, that's as simple and easy as it actually is. And this is a very soft yarn. This one is washable, but I would just recommend to wash it on you know, delicate cycle after you're done. But it's just very soft, and you make your loops as big as you want them. Now you have to remember, it takes a lot of yarn to get this like queen size or king size, but if you just want it for a throw or something to put at the end of your bed, I think 3, maybe 4 makes a really nice cover up, you know, just for snuggling and watching TV. So they didn't have any more of this at Michael's because I bought I think there were 4 and I bought 2 because I wasn't really sure how much I was going to need, and I didn't know, you know, I just didn't know. But now I went back and they're out, but they'll get some more in. So anyway, so that's one project, a chunky blanket. And then I went ahead and I decided, I have to be careful here because I do have my loops all loose. As you can see, oh, I just lost a, yeah, that's okay, I'll catch it back. I started out with this one doing 20 chains across. Now you can see This is a little bit different, and I don't want to handle this too much, guys, because I'll lose my loops and stitching, but I'll go back. But look at this. Do you see this? This is chenille. This is a chenille yarn, and you can see the size of the loops I'm making. And I want to tell you, this is my box that I have unraveled all of my chenille yarn in. It's a little bit thicker than what I was making with the Bernay yarn, and I bought this yarn online, and I just haven't seen any chenille yarn in the store, so I had no idea of the texture or feel of it, and I just thought, chenille, yeah, and this is going to be absolutely beautiful, and it is like holding butter. I mean, this actually is 5 balls, and or 5 skeins, whatever you want to say, and I probably would have liked it to be 6, because I've already made this, and you can see this is where I've joined 2 pieces together. You just tie a knot and double tie it, and you have to be really careful because this is like unspun, so it ravels and it'll just peel apart and you'll lose a big chunk of yarn. And I just tie it as tight as I can, but with gentle pressure, and then I snip it as close as I can, and this little bulkiness will hide right inside these big stitches. And you know, after I unraveled it, I'm like, oh wow, this reminds me of my scrub days in the OR with intestines. But if they were looking like this, you were in bad shape. Anyways, ooh, that was too much information. But this is like butter. I'm not kidding. This is just like, oh, feeling better. I don't think it's as warm as the I don't know if it's like some of the wool yarns or the other synthetics, because it has a lighter feel to it, but it's enough that when it's on you, it is cozy and it feels fantastic. So you can see the stitching as to what it's going to look like, and this color is called light gray, and Be Cozy, I think, is where I bought it. I'll link it below, and where I did buy it, there is a tutorial online on, you know, how she did her stitching, because there's, you know, there's so many tutorials that you can finish your blanket off casting one way, you can do it another way, you can do your sides differently. So just find something that's comfortable for you and try it. Now, I'm telling you, I took this thing apart 5 different times because I was too tight. I didn't like that. I wanted it looser, so I took it apart. And then when I first started working with it, it had a different texture than the Bernay yarn, and so I wasn't getting the same loop consistency. So when you're doing this, the thing you have to keep in your mind, you want all of your loops to be the same size, as close as you can get that. And so there should be a good technique when you're using either this portion of your hand or just your fingers, however you want, and have a nice flat area surface that you can work on. Sometimes I had it on my lap when I was just sitting there, but then it was too long, and so across the bed or the table, wherever you're comfortable, that way you can lay it out. And these projects go quickly. I mean, this isn't something that you're going to work on for days. I mean, you can do it in an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. But I took mine apart several times because I just wasn't getting the size that I wanted and the right consistency. So with the cost of it, and this yarn was, let's see, Michael's was $10 a skein, this was $12. So you want to make sure that you've got yourself a nice throw that you can use, and that, you know, you're happy with your stitching. And honestly, it's a fun project to do it feels so, like I said, it feels like butter in a solid form, but so manageable. I mean, that doesn't even make sense, right? Because butter that's soft and gooey, but it's beautiful. It's just, I mean, it's softer than cotton. It's just gorgeous. It's chenille, so it makes a nice blanket. So anyways, if you're interested in that, or you've been thinking about, wanting to try it, but you don't fool yourself and say, I don't know how to crochet or how to knit. I don't know anything about it. You don't have to. It's all done with the hands. And I even took it apart and I did about that much of it with that big crochet needle or hook. And that makes an extremely dense stitch and heavy blanket. And that was using the chenille. Now doing it by hand with the loops, it makes it much lighter. So if you live in Alaska, Minnesota, any of those places where it gets really, really cold and you want that heaviness, then use a 25 gauge crochet hook and you'll get a beautiful, gorgeous blanket that's going to be very warm and dense, but it's so soft. I mean, so soft. I've never felt yarn like this. Some yarns mimic chenille. They're synthetic and they have this snagginess to them, and I can't stand working with that kind of yarn. It bothers me when I'm working on a project or something, but this, and look, it's just so pretty. The color too is gorgeous. So I love it. And I will show you the finished project, which hopefully I'll get to today. Maybe I can add it to the end of this, but it just depends because I got a lot of stuff I got to do today, so I may not be able to get this done until later on in the weekend. But that's all I have to chat about, and I hope you have a great weekend coming up. And until next time, be kind, be humble, age gracefully. Bye.